Okay, she just landed, never mind. She just landed.
People power! Our power!
People power!
Viva NUP viva!
Viva!
Viva NUP viva!
Viva!
Viva Kyagulanyi viva! Viva President viva! Uwe! Hello. Our dear esteemed guest of honor, distinguished guests present, good afternoon. Your Excellency and Chancellor Sir Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, we can't afford enough to repay your benevolent generosity for welcoming Mother Uganda with open hands. We can't take this given free opportunity for granted. We are ready to preach and move the revolution to the next level. All we can say, asante sana, yongeza tena. To the General Secretary and the entire NUP executive leadership, thank you for creating space that has enabled grounded leaders. To the most loving, caring, educative, tough, passionate, real Madam Principal Kaija Doreen Ateng and the entire administration present of the Might School of Leadership, Engineer Lutuama Peter, from the Bachelor's class of 2025. To the graduating class of 2025. A new dawn for our nation. Fellow graduates, comrades and defenders of truth, today is not just a celebration of academic achievement. It is a declaration of intent. It is a statement that we are not only scholars, we are sentinels of a better tomorrow. And as members of the National Platform, we do not graduate merely into careers. We graduate into a revolution of purpose. We have studied. We are prepared. A revolution is not born with bullets. It's born with belief. It begins when a student refuses to be silent. When a mother refuses to give up hope. When a youth once told you are nothing, stands up and says, I'm the future. That is the revolution we speak of. Not of chaos, but of clarity. Not of violence, but of vision. Uganda does not need another dictator. Uganda does not need another dictator. A revolution is not born with bullets. It's born with belief. It begins when a student refuses to be silent. When a mother refuses to give up hope. When a youth once told you are nothing stands up and says, I'm the future. That is the revolution we speak of. Not of chaos, but of clarity. Not of violence, but of vision. Uganda does not need another dictator. It needs disciples of democracy. Uganda does not need fear. It needs fierce hope. And hope is sitting right here in this crowd, wearing these gowns, raising those fists, and dreaming impossible dreams. But dreams without discipline are dangerous. So let us be strategic. Let us be organized. Let us build. Let us vote. Let us speak, and let us lead. Let us return to our communities not with certificates, but with demands. For education that empowers, not indoctrinates. For jobs that dignify, not exploit. For leaders who serve, not steal. Let our revolution be led by love for our country, for each other, and for the generations yet to come. Fellow comrades, this is not the end of our journey, it's ignition time. Let the revolution is not an apple that falls because it is ripe. You have to make it fall. We are children of resistance and the parents of change. We are the generation that will no longer ask for permission to be free. So rise, NUP family, march boldly, speak loudly, organize wisely. And never ever let anyone convince you again that your voices do not matter. Because the future is not waiting, it is watching. And we are ready to move the revolution. People power, our power, viva NUP, viva, viva Chagulanyi, viva, wewe, ra, cha, pa, hello.
Thank you so very much. Before you go, Mr. President, as they discussed earlier, they have an alternative policy that they would want to hand over to the party. I don't know, the Secretary General, how does that go? Okay. You will, Mr. President, you will come and receive the policy from our people.
Good afternoon, everyone. Your Excellency, I'm humbled to stand before you as a graduate of the NUP School of Leadership. I take this opportunity to hand to you this document of policy alternatives drafted by a couple of members of our class. These are views and ideas that we have suggested to transform Uganda. I take this opportunity to hand this document to you, sir, and we pledge to the nation that we shall work on this to deliver Uganda into the future it deserves. Thank you very much.
They will have a picture, the three of them, as they spoke. Join here. The ladies first, then you close. Right there. Let's have that. People power. Our power. NUP. Every Kaija, you left yourself out. Please. Let's have Kaija also with the team. People power. Our power. NUP. Thank you so very much. You're most welcome. Abana basomye tebasomye muwawulidde tebatawanye natuvunulira naye olunyanyi mbe bakoze ki balwogedde. Thank you so very much. Kaija, are you concluding or you've concluded?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, the representatives, and thank you for the English. As we come to the conclusion of this has been a cocktail of different students. We've had engineers, we've had musicians, we have Sebunya, Sebunya, yes, Dax Cartel, yeah. We have journalists like Jonah. Yeah, I want to say thank you guys. And congratulations, our Treasury Members. Thank you very much.
So, without wasting any time, let me invite my boss, the leader of parliamentary business, and party spokesperson to please come and give us a communication. You're most welcome.
Waiswa, the graduation yange yawedde yali ya last week kati ompise kwogera kuki byakusoma people power, our power, NUP everywhere. Mr. President Oluzungu balwogedde olungi kakati kanjogeremuko ku Luganda naye mumutegera Oluganda mmwe bwana amwogera Luzungu lwokka. For the benefit of the foot soldiers, let me begin with English because they understand English very well. Kati mwabali eyo afterwards mujja genda mu bano babavunulire. So as I was saying, Mr. President, colleague leaders, our graduates, I'm told you came with some of your parents. We do appreciate you and everybody else. I want to congratulate all of you who have been through school for the past couple of months. Thank you for taking off time to study, to add value to yourselves and to this struggle that we are doing. You see, education is in various forms and shapes. Sure, Dr. Spire will tell us, hopefully. You know, there's the education you attain when you go through a formal structure. You go to a university like at Makerere where Dr. Spire teaches, and you study a diploma, a degree, a master's, PhD, and you get a transcript. There's education that you attain through short courses like the ones you have attained through our NUP School of Leadership. There's education that we get through this school called the world and life. And that's the lifelong education that we attain. And hopefully, we get to learn and become better citizens and all of that. But I want to congratulate you. Thank you for taking off time to better yourselves. You see, for me, as far as I am concerned, we are ready and we have got what it takes to run government at all levels. At all levels, because you see, sometimes people think, you know, it is okay when the top is good. Our president is a lawyer. We have several educated people, Harvard and so on. His graduation, Muzidaba. That's a good thing. But we don't want it to be just at the top. At all levels. Because you see, we need leaders at all levels in this our country. And so from what I see, we are ready to run government. So people who had any doubts, are these people ready? Do they have what it takes? We are here and we are ready. People came from the bush, they didn't know what to do, they could not speak the English you're speaking, they had no single qualification. But for us, we have said, let's get ready. So that it's one thing to remove this regime, which we are going to do very soon. It's another thing for us to successfully run government. And this shows that we are ready to run government, to change this country, to better the trajectory of our country. And that's what we are doing. Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. That is true. And maybe that's why this government has refused to focus on education. Educated people are very easy to rule over. They're very easy to manipulate. We have always made the case, UPE, Universal Primary Education, which is supposed to be a good program. Capitation grant that is given money to run the schools, to cater for the educational needs of each child is 20,000 shillings. Not per week, not per month, not per term, per year. Just think about that. 20,000 shillings allocated to each child as capitation grant in the UPE schools. per year for the whole year. And somehow that child is supposed to compete with schools, private schools, the good ones, and so on, to compete with the rest of the world. Not just locally here. It cannot happen. And that's why we remain raw, we remain in a vicious cycle. And for us in our alternative policies, we have always said, let's increase this capitation grant. If we are serious about educating this young generation to become the kind of leaders we want them to be, let's push it up. In fact, for us, we have said at the bare minimum, let's multiply it by 5 at the bare minimum for a start. So it is still at 20,000 shillings. That's why we have said severally, let's pay all teachers very well, not some teachers. Because what government decided, let's pay just the science teachers well. How about the arts teachers? The arts are important too. Because they're all teachers, they've qualified similarly, they teach the same man hours or woman hours. Let's pay all teachers well. Because when you don't do that, these teachers, they become lethargic. You can force them to go to class, as was the case, because Mr. Museveni called them to State House, intimidated them and said, go back to class quickly. And the poor teachers have gone back to class. But they're not teaching as they should be teaching. They're not passing on the knowledge they should be passing on. Because they're not well motivated. So they will lead class, yes. They will hold chalk, but they will not pass on the right content to these children. So all of those things affect education. And so this government is deliberate about frustrating education. Because when people remain there in that state, research has told us that children who are in P7, in UPE schools, they cannot do P2 work. That's the research that was conducted by an entity called WEZO. Children who are in P7, UPE schools, they cannot do work of P2. But they're in P7. And then they'll go to secondary and so on. So they remain shallow. That's what we want to change. That's what our government is going to change. Very deliberately. So that we become a better country. So that people who are educated can challenge leaders. Because when you're not educated, you've been seeing Mr. Museveni moving around. Those poor people at whatever age, elderly, they will kneel down and he gives them an envelope, which has, I don't know, maybe 50,000 or that kind of thing, whatever amount. But somebody who is educated, somebody who knows the value of them being a citizen, will be challenging the leader and saying, no, before you give us those envelopes, where are the roads you promised us? Where is the good healthcare? Where is the good education, infrastructure, service delivery, and so on and so forth? So that's what we want to do. And we have begun it here. So we congratulate you once again. Katibu sogera Luganda bannange. Tebitegedde wamma. Kale just kandogere ku lwabana abali eri. Abazadde bamanyi oluzungu. Ngamba abali wali. Bannamawulire. Twagala okuyozaayoza abasomi. Banne mwebale kusoma. Muyogeyoge. Kusoma kikulu nnyo. Era ndabamu abantu bangi. Ndabala akulembeza abamu abava mu Nakawa West. Mwebale kusoma. Omweyimirire kale President alabe nti ab'e Nakawa tusoma. Obalabye President. Obalabye abo bakansala abafaawo. Basomye. Mwebale butatuswaza. Ekyokusoma ekyokuyiga kikulu nnyo. Ate okuyiga tulina okukimanya nti okuyiga waliwo okuyiga okubeera mu kilaasi, university.